Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks, Futures, and Forex Market Preview and International and Domestic Economic Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 16th of May, 2021, ending Friday the 21st. Hope you had a good week. It started out good, it got a little boring, but we still had overall a green week. Here's a look at the, well, first of all, this is options expiration week. It's not a triple expiration, but it is options expiration week for May. So Friday will be options expiration, probably a little dull. Somewhere, hopefully Wednesday, maybe Thursday, we get an options unraveling move. So let's start with the Forex stuff. Here's the dollar index daily chart. You know, not much here. We're still in limbo. We're could be 12 candles down soon and then 13 and get a buy signal on the dollar index. Let's look at the euro dollar, which is the inverse of the dollar index. Not much different except for it doesn't have the same count, which is fine. Pound dollar, nice cup forming here on the pound, so we'll see if that breaks out. The Aussie dollar has gone nowhere since December. The euro yen has made new highs this last week and is what it is. The pound yen also at holding at highs, although it was a very flat week for the pound yen. The pound Swiss, very flat for a while here, not much there. Gets a couple days up, gets up to that 8 area, it'd be a 13 sell signal, and the New Zealand dollar, not much there either. All right, let's look at the intra-week action just on our two majors. The euro yen 30-minute candles, high to low for the week is only barely 120 pips, very unexciting. Most of the week was uneventful. The pound dollar, high to low for the week is a little bit bigger, obviously. But again, scoot out the end of last week and just make sure you're looking at it properly. You're still only talking about 200 pips of range. So not the most exciting week in Forex that we've ever had. And there was even a day or two where nothing triggered. So not much we can do from that perspective. All right, here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. And as you can see, we dipped a little bit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, found support on Thursday, bounced back a bit on Friday. Okay, so what are the other major daily charts we need to look at? Crude oil up $1.69 on Friday to 65.50. That looks like a breakout. And remember, there's a lot going on with oil prices just because of the issue on the East Coast. Gold up $20, so that's interesting. Look at that. Look at that red static trend line and how it held exactly on the pullback there. That is pretty amazing. The S&P cash gains 61.35. It was just zombie mode on Friday after the sell-off during the week. Everybody just nothing major when you see the intraday charts, but it was certainly an up day. NASDAQ 100 up 283. So it recovered a decent part of the losses for the week, but it still is down, obviously, for the week. Note that floating island that was formed the prior Friday to Monday. Still very well in place, and we never got back to the red static trend line. The SOX up 87 points, up against the 10-day moving average. Not much there. The biotech's up 99.46. Not much there. The Russell 2000 gains 53.67. Still holding in this range it's been in for quite a while. Didn't quite get to a 13 buy signal. VIX closes down. Like, look at that move in the VIX, by the way, from like 17 to 30 almost, 29, and then back to 18 inside of a week. Pretty crazy. The trend closes at 0.52, puts the 10-day at 0.86, and this is what's interesting. Remember, we got that sell signal on the trend a couple weeks ago, so that's what started some of the sell-off days, and the sell-off days have been the easier trading days from a making money perspective, obviously. Now here we are at 0.86, but let me count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the next 2 days that drop off are a 1.0 and a 1.2. So if we get numbers, let's just say we get two numbers next 2 days under 1. You know, certainly even if we get a number under 1 on Monday, but definitely on Tuesday, we're going to take that moving average once again back under 0.85 to confirm the sell signal on the broad market one more time. The NASDAQ volume, by the way, Friday, think about this. Friday was the one day that was just kind of steady up. The zombies were in charge again. Only 4 billion shares. It's the weakest volume of the year except for one day since January 1st. So up days, no volume. Down days, a lot of volume. Not good. Advanced decline ratio in the NASDAQ plus 2413 on Friday. That's fine on the New York 2034. Google gains 49.34 points, which is fine. Apple up 2.48. We didn't have anything trigger on Friday. Netflix up $6.71, hanging actually near the lows of the last 8 months. Amazon up 61.43. This thing hasn't gone anywhere for a while. Tesla up 18.05. Facebook up $10.68. Zoom up 17.73. That's a big bounce back from Zoom, although it's obviously been down for quite a while. Goldman Sachs up 9.96, hanging near the highs. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, up $1.27. The Dow was up 360. Bitcoin now under 50,000, which is interesting. Look at the daily chart of Bitcoin, right? Still holding. Look at that. The low on Friday. The red static trend line. Can't make it up. Cannot make that up, right? Everything trades technically. All right, in terms of intra-week action, let's look at the ES here on 10-minute candles so we can see the whole week. And here's what we get. We started out flat. Monday kind of drifted lower and sold off a little bit late. Tuesday, big gap down. Closed where we opened, dead flat day. Wednesday, gap down, headed lower. So that was the big mess day, right? And that closed us. And that ended up being the low week of the close because we had a small gap up Thursday. Recovered a little bit of ground, not much, and then on Friday, small gap up on just the zombies in charge. Look how boring that is. Those candles are so small on Friday, so nothing else we can do about that. NASDAQ, look at the candles on NASDAQ on Friday, by the way. So bad. So there's nothing else to really see here. Let's go through the economic data for the week ahead. On Sunday, the visitor arrivals out of New Zealand, Rightmove housing price index out of the UK, PPI out of Japan, fixed asset investment, industrial production and retail sales, unemployment rate out of China, preliminary machine tool orders out of Japan, PPI out of Switzerland, housing starts out of Canada. Remember, these are all Eastern time. Foreign security purchases out of Canada on Monday. Empire State Manufacturing Index here in the U.S. at 8:30. NAHB Housing Market Index at 10. Tick long-term purchases right at the close of the market. Preliminary GDP out of Japan that night. We've got tertiary industry activity Tuesday out of Japan. Unemployment rate out of the UK. Italian trade balance, flash employment change out of Europe, flash GDP out of Europe, trade balance out of Europe, housing starts and building permits here in the US at 8:30, CB leading index out of Australia, GDT price index out of New Zealand, PPI out of New Zealand, Westpac consumer sentiment out of Australia, along with their wage price index. Japan's got revised industrial production, CPI out of the UK, along with their PPI, RPI, all their inflationary numbers at 2 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Housing price index out of UK, final CPI out of the broad European sector. Canada's got their CPI data at 8:30 on Wednesday morning. Crude oil here in the US, minutes from the last Fed meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Core machinery orders and trade balance out of Japan, employment change and unemployment rate out of Australia, annual budget balance, budget release here out of New Zealand, German PPI, current account, CBI, industrial order expectations here in the UK, Spanish 10-year bond auction, ADP non-farm employment change out of Canada, Philly Fed manufacturing index at 8:30 a.m. here in the US, along with the initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, CB leading index at 10, natty gas at 10:30. BOC financial review, system review out of Canada. 7 p.m. Eastern time Thursday, we've got the flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers out of Australia, and then that kind of goes around the globe. So we get it out of Japan, retail sales out of Australia and the UK, and then we get all those same numbers, flash manufacturing and services PMI numbers out of France, Germany, the broad European sector, the UK, and then here in the US, and before that, retail sales, consumer confidence out of Europe, and existing home sales here in the US. So none of our big three and no Fed meeting. It's a clean open week, but there is plenty of data to look at, and we will see what we get from that perspective. Obviously, it'll be interesting to get a second trend sell signal in just a couple weeks. Usually only happens once or twice a year at most. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.